I saw a video on Caroline Marie Reed's channel that came out recently where she recommends books to iconic fictional characters. For example, for Lizzie Bennet of Pride and Prejudice, she recommends Little Women because particularly with the character Jo March, both Lizzie Bennet and Jo March are clever, sassy, headstrong women, and she thinks Lizzie will enjoy reading about Little Women. And 2 years ago, the late, great Jennifer Brooks recommended books for the characters in the Vikings series, her favourite TV series. I'll link to both those videos in the show notes below. My name is Jim. This is my channel, Books, Reading and Stuff. And I thought I'd run with Caroline's idea and recommend some books to fictitious characters. I shall start with Captain Ahab of Moby Dick. Ahoy there, Captain Ahab. I couldn't help but overhear your tireless rantings about the devilish white whale that robbed you of your leg. Your singular obsession to deliver thyself of oblique, immutable vengeance upon the horrendous beast has been duly noted, good sir. However, I must propose a momentary fictional pause in thy maniacal quest, for I have in my possession a modern nautical tome that makes your trifling quarry with Moby Dick appear as a minor inconvenience relegated to the shallows. It's titled Meg, a novel of deep terror, good captain, and it tells of a colossal prehistoric leviathan awakened from its deep primordial slumber, a 60-foot behemoth of teeth and malice that will grind your paltry albino whale into a crimson mist with but a solitary chomp of its maw. Next, Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Why, Anna Karenina, radiant gemstone of St. Petersburg's glittering aristocracy, I must inquire after your spirits. For a woman of your passion and romantic yearnings, the inexorable grind of high society propriety must be equal portions stifling and maddening. I can only imagine the tempestuous depths of emotion you struggle to contain beneath that porcelain veneer, the clandestine fire you bank while maintaining appearances amidst its shallow gossiping of Blonskys and Vronskys of your milieu. Truly, it's a prison of tedium and hypocrisy for a woman of your vibrancy. Which is why I took the liberty of acquiring a book I believe shall speak to your twin sense of rapture and ennui, the scandalous French novel Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. This tawdry tale could have been ripped from our own imperial chronicles with its deliciously lucid rendering of romantic obsession spiraling into ruinous decadence. Much like yourself, the protagonist, Emma Bovary, is a yearning, pliant soul, sputtering under the banality of her provincial bourgeois marriage, but rather than sublimating her passions behind shadowed bedroom doors, she unapologetically pursues her burning desires through tawdry affairs and self-annihilating debauchery. Dracula. Ahem. A humble suggestion for your eminence, Count Dracula. You simply must pick up a copy of the Twilight saga. I realize vampire fiction may seem a bit pedestrian for one of your stature and age, but hear me out. This modern take on our kind is an absolute delight. The story follows a young vampire who forsakes the warm embrace of human blood in favour of get this, falling in love with a mortal girl. I know, it sounds preposterous, but the drama, the angst, the sparkly skin and sunlight, it's like a deliciously campy gothic novel, but with extra pining. I guarantee you'll find it quite unintentionally hilarious. Ah, Mr. Holmes. the crime-solving paragon, whose very name is symbolic of unsurpassed deductive reasoning and intellectual superiority. Surely cases of the criminal element's bumbling misdeeds provide little challenge for you these days, for one whose mind is as finely honed as your own, which is why I must bring to your attention a rather perplexing murder case that is sure to pique your interest, despite its rather humble origins in light fiction. Yes, I speak of the baffling Orient Express massacre, penned by the imaginative Dame Agatha Christie. Now, do not furrow that eternal brow at me just yet, for while the premises may seem pedestrian, a victim found deceased in a locked train compartment amidst the stymied efforts of the plodding local police, I assure you the case spirals into a delightfully complex tangle of clues and potential suspects. You see, the victim's identity is itself a deepening mystery, with a colourful cast of fellow passengers all harbouring potential motives and their own thick tapestries of guile. Each one is satisfying, designed to misdirect, obfuscate, and test the limits of your supreme gifts of observation and deduction. I'm sure you'll find it a delightful read. Listen up, Harry. Now that you're basically a Wizarding World celebrity, I reckon you do a bit of light reading that doesn't involve defending Hogwarts from the Dark Lords or mastering unforgivable curses. Which is why I have the perfect fictional realm for you to stick your muggle-raised nose into. The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by some bloke named C.S. Lewis. Yeah, not exactly a Wizarding household name, but hear me out. This peculiar little book follows a group of kids who accidentally stumble into a magical world called Narnia by walking through an old coat cupboard. No flue powder or port keys required, just poor defences against the whims of antique furniture. Now in Narnia, the kids encounter all sorts of delightfully daft talking animals, mythical beasts and the like. Seems the place is ruled by this mental codger of a lion named Aslan, who has some weird Dumbledore-esque devotees. On the other side is the proper wicked White Witch running a campaign of eternal winter and turning folks into statue decorations. So basically it's a two-front war between a batty home furnishings fanatic and a cult-leading furry messiah. Your basic even-year Hogwarts term, really, except with more Turkish delight and medieval litterbox stabbings. The real fun is seeing how this Narnia realm's balmy rules and magic differ from what we know. You'll giggle at these kids failing to handle basic wand disciplines like Expecto Patronum or Ridiculous that Hermione mastered at the age of 11. Kind of makes you appreciate old Flitwick's Charms curriculum, eh? Anyway, it's a grand little romp away from all the Harry Potter hype and dark wizardry. Finally, Jane Eyre. Why, Miss Eyre, you're a remarkably resilient and moral young woman in the face of such adversity. However, I worry your life at the gloomy Thornfield Hall and dalliance with that somewhat mercurial Mr. Rochester has been weighing you down by a bit too much stifling seriousness. Therefore, I must insist you treat yourself to a vastly entertaining novel called Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. In this delightful revisionist tale, the proper English drawing rooms and bucolic countryside you knew have been gloriously upended by the undead. That's right, the madcap mashup follows the beloved Bennet sisters as they fortuitously martial warrior skills and deadly swordsmanship to defend their family and prospective suitors from zombie attackers. Just imagine Mrs. Ingram's jaw dropping if her fiancé returned from the grave. I guarantee the bloodthirsty yet prim and proper romp will allow you to release delightful pleas of mirth you haven't enjoyed since well before your dreadful school days at Lowood. If you enjoyed these recommendations and might have some suggestions of your own, please put them in the comments. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. This will help me with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.